great morning to you watching Westnile Television. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. It is KOKOLIRIKO Live on Westnile Television. My name is Denis Oringi, and it is Tuesday, 18th of July, 2023. And I'm here to give you a breath of every information that you need to know right here on Westnile Television. We are coming to you live from the broadcast house of Westnile Television, plot number 39A, Weatherhead Park Lane, located on Weatherhead Park Lane Road, that is next to this Presidential State Lodge, just adjacent to the the home of former slain member of parliament for Arua Municipality, Ibrahim Abriga. For those who might be interested in knowing exactly where Westnile Television is located, you can tap on us, and I have to tell you that you can really get to visit us here in Arua, Westnile sub-region. And also for those who are catching us live using the satellite channels, talking about the Zuku satellite channel 0073, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Those who are catching us live using that is the Star Times satellite channel 477, we thank you very much for joining us this morning. Not forgetting those who are following us live from the YouTube page and also the Facebook page, we thank you and we do appreciate you. And not forgetting those who always follow us on Twitter, right there, getting the updates. And dear viewer, you have to know that today is 18th of July. It is a day that Nelson Mandela was born in 1918, right there in South Africa. And so all of us, we know who Nelson Mandela was. And so 18th July 1918 is when Nelson Mandela was born in Nzake, and his given name is Rohilala. His mother Nosekeni, the third of the four wives of his father Ngosi, that is a girl Henry, moves with the baby to her own home in Hunu, and it is only when he attended primary school that gave his name that gave his name Nelson by his teacher. And so in 2009, you have to know that the United Nations General Assembly declared 18 July Nelson Mandela International Day in recognition of his contribution to a culture of peace and freedom is what you need to know. And so today is Nelson Mandela Day, and I am saying that you should be able to do good, in the world, specifically to help and hunger and mitigate what we call climate change by planting more trees and growing food in your communities, cities, and gardens, and your pavements, so that you really leave some legacy behind. It is important that we should be able to embrace such day as well. And so it is a day that we always remember, especially the great men who really fought during the apartheid policy right there in South Africa. And so we know who Nelson Mandela was, and so his contributions to South Africa, not only to South Africa, but also to Africa at large. And so we do not take for granted, may his soul rest in eternal peace right there for you. And so that is a quick one I said I should be able to mention for you this morning. So, dear viewer, you have to know that we shall be diving into some of the local stories that we have here in Westnile. And so, before that, dear viewer, you have to know that there are a lot of issues to do with corruption allegations right here in Arua City, and some of the things are now getting out of the hands, and leaders have now come out to speak about these. A quick mention is about the issues to do with the pupils of Arua Hill Primary School, that they have been deprived of physical education. And you have to know that physical education is one of the lessons that are supposed to be taught in primary school under CAPE 2. I beg to be corrected, creative physical education. And so there are those CAPE 1, CAPE 2, things to do with art and craft and things to do with PE. And currently, as I do talk, you have to know that PE is also one of the subjects being taught in secondary school. But for the pupils of Arua Hill Primary School, they don't have a space where they can really, tell learners to get out so that they can really practice and learn this particular subject. I'm talking about the physical education. All of us, we know what physical education means. Much as currently it is a little bit very hard to see pupils practicing what we call the PE, simply because most of the schools, they tend to focus on passing examinations than really engaging the learners in doing physical education. I can remember vividly in the year when I was in primary 1, primary 2, and even primary 3, they used to engage us actively in a physical education where boys were told to remove their shirts and remain bare-chested, and this was to see who are those people who are not bathing each and every morning before going to school. And so it was a little bit embarrassing, but also it really trained us a lot, and it really communicated the sense to us during that particular time. And so if you know that today we are going to have PE, you will make sure that you go to the stream, you bathe, so that when you are told to remove your shirt, you look a little bit healthy and also fresh. And ladies, the girls would really enjoy also looking at your chest and also your back when you're doing the PE together. It's quite unfortunate nowadays. It's a little bit very hard to get learners, more special pupils, getting engaged in physical education. But this particular one I'm talking about, Arua Hill Primary School, that the football pitch and the grounds that the school used to use was given to a private developer who up to now has not yet completed the project that he said to the city authority that he will be able to undertake. Much as we see structures being put up, but the construction works seem to have stalled. And according to the accounting officer of Arua City, who is none other than Paul Batanda, speaking to journalists yesterday, he said that they have engaged the developer to really explain to them why the project has stalled. That is affecting the development of the city as well. And so I have been told that there's a meeting that is going to be on Thursday to iron out some of these issues, because the councillors of Arua City are really tasking the technical people, more especially the chief, the accounting officer of the city, to really explain to them what is going on, because the learners of Arua Hill Primary Schools, they are getting it a little bit very hard, and this has also affected their performance in the recent concluded ball games for the primary schools that we do have in Arua City. And so I have been told that the pupils have to move 2 kilometers away from their primary school to Salim Saleh ground, that I have been told that is a government playground that currently is being used by different schools that we have in Arua City. For your information, many of the government hated schools that we have in Arua City lack what we call playgrounds, and I fail to understand what exactly is happening with the education department of the city. You have to know also Arua Prison, as I talk right now, the playgrounds that Arua Prison Primary School used to use was given to China Railway, a construction company that constructed, that is the newly constructed roads that we have here in Arua City, and they are the one in charge of constructing the Go Down Road and also the Adumi Road that we do have here in the city. And so the playgrounds was given to the China Railway Construction Company, and it's almost coming to 4 years that this construction company has been using the playgrounds meant for Arua Prison Primary School, and Arua Prison Primary School is one of the government primary schools that we do have here in the city. And as I talk right now, Arua Prison Primary School has no playgrounds for the learners to really do co-curricular activity. And you have to know that according to the education curriculum of our country, Uganda, aspect of co-curricular activities is really very paramount, and it is important. And I have been told that this construction company has never done social corporate responsibility for the school, and they have not thought of any alternative playgrounds for these learners. And so these learners have to move apparently 3 kilometers either to Idiofe Boys Primary School to practice what they are supposed to do, and also Niva Primary School, one of the government primary schools. You have to know that where the playground sits The playground is not even of standard that is supposed to be used for football or athletics, and it's also next to the city chemistry that sometimes cause great risk to the learners. And so these are some of the these are some of the issues. Some people tend to look at them as minor, but for me, as a person who has been in education, while I understand what it means to deprive learners from co-curricular activities, and I have to tell you that education is about holistic education. Education is not about maybe learning science, mathematics, and social studies and English, but engaging learners in co-curricular activities play a very big role in one's growth and development. And so education is not about subjects, but it's about wholesome learning, that learners are engaged in different activities. So if we have learners who are partly engaged in co-curricular activity, let me tell you, even in future, if these learners complete their education cycle, they will not be complete, and they will be lacking other aspects in as far as education is concerned. And so I believe the city leadership should really look at this seriously. The developer who has been given the land to develop the land, I've been told that he has to utilize the playground for over 49 years according to the MOU that I've really obtained. And so and he had promised that in 2 years' time he would be done with the construction of the mini stadium and also the business park. But coming to 4 years down the road, the project seemed not to be moving on well, and including the component at the main roundabout of Arua City. And so these are some of the issues that we need to really task the person who has been given the public land to develop to account. Yes, we understand that government of the Republic of Uganda is looking forward engaging the private sector in the development, but the aspect of the speed of the work and the MOU has to be properly understood, and so that people are able to get satisfied with the memorandum that has been signed right there. And also for the China Railway that has been given the playgrounds of Arua Prison Primary School right here in Arua City, they contractor should not really think that that is its own, that it's land. That is government land, and it belongs to the primary school. And it's important that they should be also thinking of a second alternative for themselves as the construction company, so that the learners are not deprived of the co-curricular activities that they are supposed to undertake, like any other learners in other parts of the country that we do have right there. And so that's a quick mention that I said I should be able to mention to you this morning to bring to your attention. And I know that it has been long overdue without us bringing to your attention some of these issues, and our newsroom will be following some of those stories exclusively, and so that you get to understand the picture who are at the play of these particular issues of depriving learners of their rights to play. And currently, as I do talk right now, the learners are being deprived of their right to play, and and as it is a common say in English that work without play makes Tom a dull boy. And so we do not want these learners to be dull, but they have to be very active, and they can be active if they have been given the opportunity to practice the co-curricular activities that government of the Republic of Uganda wants them to do right there. And you have to know that apart from co-curricular activities, we also do have extra co-curricular activities. This talking about the debate, the clubs and societies. And so we should always be able to make these learners get to understand what we have in this world. Another serious matter to do with issues to do with money. You have to know that the public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Appeal Tribunal suspends the Arua Market tender process over what we call anomalies right there and for you. And so yesterday, the Member of Parliament for Arua Central Division, Honorable Jackson Leah, in a presser with the journalist, he was able to castigate the manner in which the city is being managed by the current leadership. And he has cited a number of anomalies that tantamount to corruption issues that he is inviting the Inspectorate of Government to really get interested in some of the affairs here in Arua City. And also he has really implored the State House Anti-Corruption Unit to really do some work of investigation in regards to corruption scandals here in Arua City. And so what is the story about is what you need to understand here, that the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets, that is a PPDA Appeals Tribunal, has suspended the entire process of awarding tender, that is for the provision of revenue collection services for Arua City main market. And so this is after Rema Engineering Company Limited petitioned the tribunal seeking for the nullification of the process over alleged irregularities, is what you need to know. Now, in the appeal application seen by journalists yesterday, Rema Engineering Company Limited, which had offered 115,000 million as its bid price, protested the decision taken by Arua City authorities to award the Arua main market tender to Maraka Investment Limited, which had a lower reserve price of 105 million right there. Now, following the complaint, Mansour Saki Atiko, the PPDA Appeals Tribunal Registrar, in a letter dated July 14th, 2023, ordered the accounting officer of Arua City to suspend any further action on the procurement process, is what you need to know right there. And so, quoting him verbatim, saying that the tribunal has received application number 13 of the 2023 for administrative review from Rema Engineering Company Limited in respect, to the tender for the provision of revenue collection services for Arua City main market for the period of July 1st, 2023 to July 30th, 2023, and the procurement number, that is Arua 851 SRVS 23240001. The letter read in part. Now, in accordance with the section 89 subsection 11 A of the PPDA Act of 2003 and regulations 17 and 18 of the PPDA Tribunal Procedure Regulations 2016, you are hereby ordered to suspend any further action on this procurement process with the exception of extension of bid validity and securities where required. That is article ordered. Now, the PPDA Appeals Tribunal Registrar also ordered the accounting officer of Arua City to produce and submit to the tribunal not later than July 18th, 2023. The entire procurement action file is what you need to know right there. Now, according to Nasur Muhammad Buga of Buga and Company Advocates, the lawyer representing Rema Engineering Company, his client petitioned the PPDA Appeals Tribunal on two grounds. Now, one is the procurement process was tainted with a lot of irregularities, and it was not done in a very transparent and honest way. The administrative review application was filed on June 23rd, 2023, and a decision was made by the town clerk on July 13th, 2023, and the decision made did not really capture the issues we raised in the administrative review application, and because of that, we have decided to appeal that decision to the PPDA Appeals Tribunal. This is according to Buga Muhammad Nasur, who is the lawyer representing Rema Engineering Company Limited. He noted that as a result, the whole process of the contract was suspended by the PPDA Appeals Tribunal pending hearing of the matter. Now, it is on this ground that Jackson Lee Atima, the Central Division Member of Parliament, condemned the decision taken by Arua City Contracts Committee to award the market tender to the second highest bidder, contrary to the PPDA regulations. And now, meaning we shall be losing 10 million monthly, coming to that is shillings 120 in a year because of this decision. When this matter came to my attention, I directed the Resident City Commission and the town clerk to look into this issue and address it, because when it comes to revenue mobilization and when it comes to contracts award according to the Market Act, we are supposed to go for the highest bidder, which is 115 million per month, and which will generate a good revenue for the city, which revenue we will use to do a lot of things in the city. Now, but when we lose revenue just because we are greedy, or we choose to favor our relatives, or we choose to favor ourselves, we choose to award contracts to our own companies that we register within the city, it becomes unfair. And this is the words of the Central Division Member of Parliament, Jackson Lee Atima, in regards to this matter of procurement right there. However, Paul Batanda, who is Arua City Clerk, said in procurement, when a decision is made by the contract committee and the bidder is not happy with the decision that has come up, he has a right to write to the accounting officer, giving reasons why he's not comfortable with the decision right there. And so Paul Batanda, quoting him verbatim, he says, so in this particular case, one of the bidders called Rema wrote to the town clerk giving the reasons. One of them was they had a higher offer compared to the person who had been put in the best evaluated bidder, but we did it to go as per the law by instituting an administrative review committee. After finishing, they submitted a report And we communicated to the complainant about what came out of the administrative review, which upheld the first decision. And this is according to Paul Batanda, who is the town clerk, Arua City. Now, when asked about the reason advanced by the contracts committee that is award tendered to the second bidder, Batanda said the matter is already in court and that he wouldn't like to comment on issues before court as an administrator. And so this is what you need to know in regards to what Rema Engineering Company Limited is arranging in regards to the unfair, according to them, the contract that was really awarded to Maraka company to collect, that is the market dues of Arua Main Market right here. Now, dear viewer, this is what I need to bring to your attention. If you want to understand the level of corruption in our country, Uganda, get to the contract committee of your district, of your sub-county, of your city, of your municipality, of your division, and you will be able to get how much government of the Republic of Uganda is losing in terms of money. And that's where the corruption starts from. Let's not fight corruption from top without understanding what happens during the time of the award of contracts to those that are undertaking projects for the government that we do have. And that is where I specialize when it comes to corruption. And I know always that when we talk about corruption in our country, Uganda, I cannot forget to mention procurement committee, because that is the committee that sits to decide who is supposed to do what on behalf of government. And you know what happens there, and you know how money exchange hands, and you know how much billions and trillions of money that we lose in the name of the award of contract. And so that is where we can really start our conversation always when we are talking about corruption. And I implore the Inspectorate of Government to start from there. And that is where the corruption starts from. For your information, for those who don't understand, sometimes we rush for postmortem and we begin, to make statements here and there without understanding the magma of the real issue of corruption. And that is where it starts from. The pressure, of corruption starts from there. Because now this contractor will be given a contract. Now, this contractor will not just be given a contract like that. I have never heard that somebody has been given contract on merit without you doing what we call kickback. And so I've been trying to interpret and get to understand what it means by kickback. And let me tell you this morning, and I want to ask somebody who is in the construction world or is a contractor who has been given work, tell me if you have never given kickback in your life in this country, Uganda, on the contracts that you have been awarded. I want to hear you, and I want to see your hands up. And if you do that, then I will really know that you are the person who can really go to heaven, because you are clear. But what I know, it cannot happen that way, that you just be given a contract like that, and for you don't give kickback. Here in our country, Uganda, and you think you will be given that contract? Let me tell you, that can never happen. Because that's what I know. And that's what I know happens here in our country, Uganda. This is not the first time that I've been having conversations with people who have done work in this country. And they always tell me, Dennis, you see, if we have been given 2 billion for us to undertake maybe a construction of a city secondary school, you have to know that out of the 2 billion, 200 million will go for a kickback. And now this leaves the contractor with only around 1.8 billion for him to undertake the construction work. The 200 million has gone, and you have to pay this money before the contract is awarded for you. And that means that you have to look for money. You have to look for money to convince the contract committee. And yesterday I was able to ask the city clerk who are the persons who constitute the contract committee. And he told me that the people should be the technical people with integrity. The technical people with integrity. And the beauty is that in the contract committee, we don't have politicians. You understand? We don't have a representative of the political wing. They're only the technical people who are working either in the district, in the sub-county, or in the city. And so these are the people who constitute. And I think they should be able to have around 5 members. And the members has to be odd, not even number, for a proper decision to be made. And the accounting officer is not supposed to be, part of the contract committee. And so that means that you get to understand that the technical people who are involved in the contract committee, these are the people people who are knowledgeable, and these are people who are always found of doing anomalies, as it is the case. And so we shall be able to wait for the ruling of this particular case that has been filed by Rema Engineering Company Limited in regards to issues to do with unfair award of contract here in Arua City. And according to the lawyer representing Rema Engineering Company Limited, Nasur says that they're doing this not to win the case, but they're doing this to tell the rest of Ugandans that you can challenge the decision of this contract committee if you have realized that the award of contract was not fair in your, in your understanding. And so that means that for us as Wananchi, as the citizen of this country, we should always be focused and we should always be determined to always ask the contract committee to avail each and every information about contract. Let me tell you something about local government here. Somebody will be telling me, who am I to talk about local government? Let me tell you, in local government, we start right from the council. The councillors are mandated to approve the procurement plan of the city, the procurement plan of the district. And now it is from this procurement plan that the city or the district will be executing its procurement. And the procurement plan is given to the procurement committee. Now, to decide when should we procure what. Now, these are the people who issued out bids, calling for bids. Now, once they have issued, calls for bids, notice for bids, they are supposed to publish it publicly. And it's a public information. It is not supposed to be sealed, and they are supposed to put this notification in all the public notice boards, including media houses. They should really take the announcements to all the media houses, different public notice boards, so that people get to understand that Arua City wants to buy vehicle. And if you have the capacity of procuring vehicle and, and give to Arua City and you are paid, then you can apply. And then there are requirements that you're supposed to meet under the PPDA Act. You understand? And those requirements are also well written in the notice. And if you feel that I have the capacity and the competence to really bid and supply Arua City with whatever they want somebody to supply, and then you prepare your documents, you hand over. So there are bid security that is given for you, that you have to, deposit this amount of money in your account. You should have this amount of money already in your account, so that they trust that you can really execute the procurement that they're giving you. And so what happens after that is that the contract committee sits and looks through the different bids that have been submitted. Now, in a situation where the local government wants to get revenue, now there they go with the highest bidders. You understand? Because they need money to enter in the coffer of the local government. For instance, Arua City. Now, if Arua City wants somebody to collect revenue from the market, Arua City should really look for the highest bidder. And so these are terms used in procurement. The highest bidder, in the sense that this person will be giving a good money to the city authority. But in a situation where Arua City wants to procure something, you understand, wants to buy something, then Arua City will look for the lowest bidder. And that is how, those are the terminologies that are supposed to be considered by the contract committee. And so in a situation where we had the highest bidder, and we had the lowest bidder after the highest bidder, in the sense of revenue collection, Arua City would have really considered the highest bidder, because the city needs more revenue. And there's somebody who has said, I will be giving to you at every end of the month 115 million. And then there's somebody who says, I will be giving you 105 million every month. Now, between the two, who will you consider to really collect market dues from the market? I just want you to understand in that simple way. And so we have those that have the city at heart, or the district at heart, to see that the district develop, and they have the strategies to see how they can improve in revenue collection. And so in a situation that there was the highest bidder who submitted all the bids documents, and then there's somebody who is the second, highest bidder, and has also submitted the document. And then the contract committee considered awarding on the second highest bidder to take on the market dues, then that brings a lot of questions. You understand? You know, in regards to procurement. And this is what you need to get to understand. And I challenge each and every citizen of this country, let us get interested in the procurement processes of our districts, of our sub-counties, of our municipality, of our divisions. That is where government of the Republic of Uganda is losing a lot of money, my dear. And that is where we are having shoddy work. If there is a work that has not been properly done, then the people who should be blamed should be those that were able to select that contractor to do the work. And the people who should be blamed in the first place whenever we see shoddy work should be the contract committee, because they are the one who selected the contractor to do the work. And that is what we need to understand. And that's why I'm telling you, let's get interested in the public affairs. And for me, I am interested in the public procurement and public accountability. And that is the gist of each and every development. And if members of the public stay away from issues to do with public accountability, then we lose it out to those individuals who continue to enrich themselves, drive luxurious cars, using the monies that were supposed to be used for improving service delivery in our community. And so it's me and you to see that we receive the services that we require to receive. Go to other countries that we do have in Africa and you ask yourself whether Uganda is part of Africa in terms of development, and you keep asking what human beings do we have in those countries. Just make a step just to go to Ethiopia, just here. Go to Addis Ababa, the headquarters of the Organization of the African Union, as we are taught, as it stands. You find things are different. And you ask yourself, in those countries, do we have human beings or we have different human beings? And I always say that we have heads like they do also have. And so we should really focus. And that is what I always implore you to do. Let's focus. Let's stand firm. Let's speak to those who hold the power. Let's speak to those who have the money, who are charged with the responsibility of managing public affairs, to do the right thing on behalf of the people. And so that is what I can bring to your attention in regards to the procurement issues here in Arua City. I know it might not only be Arua City that is engulfed with the issues to do with the procurement issues. I might also challenge you to get interested in Nepi district, get interested in Zumbu district, how the district is also doing procurement, get interested also in Pakwash district and get to understand how Pakwash district local government is doing its procurement. Get interested in Madio Kolo, how the district is also doing a procurement. Get interested in Arua district, how they're also doing their procurement, and who are these contractors who are always getting work with that local government unit that we do have, and you'll get to understand that the issues. If time will allow, maybe next time I will bring for you 10 red flags in as far as procurement and corruption in procurement circle is concerned, and you will be able to understand that we are being managed by mafias who wants to play around with our minds. Then at the end of the day, they say you have to pay taxes and you have to vote for so and so, without them doing the right work of really doing the supervision and monitoring the work that they're supposed to do properly. And my work will always be challenging those who have been entrusted with power to always stand for those who would not have time to ask the questions of public accountability in regards to the public fund that we always talk about whenever we talk about budget in this country. And don't forget the 2023-2024 financial year, government of the Republic of Uganda is going to spend 52.7 trillion Ugandan shillings. And these 52.7 trillions should come from us as the taxpayers. And out of these, over 25 trillion will be realized from the local revenues that will be mobilized from me and you. And so we need to continue asking the questions of accountability, how this money is being used, whether the money is being used for the right purpose. Because if you pay, you have to get the service, and that is what I was taught in economics under the topic called fee. And if somebody asks me what is a fee, fee is a payment made after a service has been rendered to you. And so my head teacher one time told me that I should really pay for lunch fee, that I did not eat even lunch. So I told her, teacher, can you tell me when did I eat lunch? And you're telling me that I should pay for the lunch that I have not eaten. And so that does not become a fee. And good enough that he was the one teaching economics, and I challenged him, and he kept quiet. Because fee is payment made after a service has been rendered for you. And so if nobody has rendered for you a service, why do you pay the fee? That does not become a fee. And so that is what you need to know, that the services that we are enjoying in this country, we need to pay for them. And the services that we are supposed to pay for them should be quality services. You understand? You cannot go to a hotel, you have called for meat and somebody serves you bean, and the person wants you to pay the same fare for the meat. No. If you have served me beans, I'll pay you fare for beans. If you have served me meat, I'll pay you fare for meat. And that's what I can tell you. And I cannot mince my word right there, because I am paying for a fee. If I'm paying taxes, I have to pay taxes, and I see that the services that are supposed to be rendered to me are rendered in the right way. And that is it. And so that is what we have to do. So we have to continue asking those who are in charge of our monies, please give us the services, then we shall pay. And so that is what I can really bring to your attention. If you're paying for TV subscription, there are packages. You say pay for this novena, you pay for this value, and then you get the services that you have paid for. As simple as that. And so if you have paid for road and the roads are not being worked on, then what are you supposed to do? Ask them. Have paid taxes. Some of us, we are paying pay as you earn. And so when you're paying pay as you earn, and you're paying local service tax, and you're not seeing things changing, and then you have the right to ask, where is the money going? We are paying. And so that is what you need to know right there. Let's get to some of the stories we have in the dailies this morning. Let me take you to the Daily Monitor. It is important that you should be able to get and to understand how things are changing in this world. What are some of the issues that are really cropping up each and every time? Members of Parliament probe Uganda National Bureaus of Standards over awarding verification contracts to unfit companies. You see, it is everywhere. Go to ministries, departments, agencies, local governments. Issues to do with awarding contracts is one major issue. The Daily Monitor of today has not really failed to capture this, that members of Parliament are probing Uganda National Bureau of Standards of awarding verification contracts, that is to unfit companies. The allegations came into light on Monday during an interface between UNBS and Parliament's Committee on Trade, Tourism and Industry. And so they're saying here that some of the companies that have been awarded the contracts seem not fit for executing the work under which they have been awarded to do. And so Uganda National Bureau of Standards is on the spot over claims for awarding pre-export verification of conformity, that is the PVOC, contracts to briefcase companies merely existing on paper without structures. And then the PVOC is the conformity assessment program mandatory for all businesses exporting regulated products into the country, operating with the objective of minimizing the risk of unsafe and substandard goods. The allegations came into light on Monday yesterday during an interface between the UNBS and Parliament's Committee on Trade, Tourism and Industry. And so they're saying that the committee deputy chairperson Catherine Lamwaha of Omoro County said the allegations needed to be addressed following the oversight visit in March 2023 to countries like India, South Asia and Dubai, where legislators observe a number of mishaps over the contracts awarded to companies to do PVOC. And so MPs mostly faulted No, Healthman Quality and Technology Services Limited, a company which they allege was only existing on paper without any functional offices on ground. And these can also be, locally translated right here. Can we get interested in some of the companies that have been awarded by our districts, city and also municipalities and also the divisions that we do have in the sub-counties that are really executing work on behalf of government, whether they do have structures or they're only on papers. They only registered maybe with the URSBS, but we don't have the office, and then it is very hard for you to trace where their offices are. Can we get interested in this? And we shall be able to find out that what the members of parliament have realized with UNBS in regards to awarding contracts is not different from what we have at our local level, our local governments that we do have across the country. I'm talking about the districts, the cities, and also the municipalities, including the lower local government units that we do have, including ministries, departments, and agencies. And remember, these are government parastatals that are charged with the responsibility of executing works on behalf of the wananchi that we have in this country, Uganda. And are those companies are those companies that are working on behalf of these ministries, departments, and agencies have the structures? Are they not only on papers? We need to get to understand and get concerned about some of this, because that is how we lose a lot as a country, because we are not dealing with the right people who are supposed to do work on behalf of government of the Republic of Uganda. And I know President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni would be interested to understand how government money seems to be disappearing in thin air in our country, Uganda. And so that is what you need to know. Geoffrey Kayemba Solo, Bokoman Simbi South Member of Parliament, in his submission said, we went there and Madam Shia was the leader of the delegation of the Dubai team. We saw that one of the companies, HQTS, awarded to do the inspection was a fake company. How come you did not see that? Did you do background check? So these are things that need to be done. And so I think thank you very much, members of parliament, for really, doing the oversight rightly. And it's important, and we implore all the councillors of the districts and also of the cities, please get interested. You understand? If the city authority or the district authority is going to award contract to a certain contractor, please get to understand, do the background check of this contractor. What kind of work has he ever been able to do? And they are proof of the work that this, that this company was able to do. Because you might be dealing with companies that have been blacklisted, for your information. And those companies are there. They're either blacklisted because they don't have enough money. They're either blacklisted because they were able to do shoddy work in some parts of this country. And so we need to do background checks on some of these companies that are being awarded with contracts to do work on behalf of the government of the Republic of Uganda. And government of the Republic of Uganda is you and I. So we constitute a government. Without us, government would not be in existence. So this is how we can begin to understand local government, how we can begin to understand what government means. Government is not President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for your information. Government is you and I, because we are the citizens of this country, and we are the one who pay taxes, run the affairs of this nation called Uganda. And Uganda is a very good nation. Only that we can work, if we can work around, doing some changes here and there, in terms of the technical people who have been charged with the responsibility of running the affairs. Uganda People's Defense Forces soldier arrested for shooting civilian dead is also another sad news that is coming through from the Daily Monitor right here, that the UPDF 3rd Division spokesperson Major Isaac Oware identified the suspects as Captain Lawrence Sibiwa, attached to the 51st Infantry Battalion in Boko District. The Uganda People's Defense Forces has confirmed the arrest of one of their own who reportedly shot a 34-year-old man dead along Kapshora Boko Swam Road on Monday evening. And so the UPDF 3rd Division spokesperson Major Isaac Oware identified the suspect as Corporal Lawrence Sibiwa, attached to, that is, the 51st Infantry Battalion in Boko District. He also identified the deceased as Fred Kwemoi, 34, a resident of Toboswet Village, Mananaga Sub-County in Boko District. Right there, it's quite unfortunate, right there, that it's quite unfortunate that our own soldier shot dead a civilian. It is alleged that the disease was intercepted after a scuffle and shoot between him and soldiers who were tasked to guard road equipment for China State Construction Company. He sustained gunshot injuries and later died on his way to the hospital. The soldiers had, suspected him to be a thief. And so it's quite unfortunate that right there. May his soul rest in the total peace. And I call on those who are armed please can you try to use your weapons properly, because sometimes it's not good to overuse your weapon. Also, you should use tactics of bringing this person to book slowly, but when you shoot to kill, it is quite unfortunate right there, unless maybe the person also had a weapon and it was the exchange of fire. Because I have been told when UPDF soldiers are going to meet the rebels, what happened is that either rebels shoot at them or the UPDF soldiers should really shoot at the rebels, and so this is when they have gone to the war front. But if it is somebody who is not armed, with the little security knowledge that I have, is that if you are armed and the other person is not armed, you have to find ways of really, bringing this person, closer, so that you can easily arrest and the person is prosecuted. But if we shoot to kill, it becomes very hard to prosecute the person, and at the end of it all, you will end up being prosecuted. Yet you would have really used all what you had to really, to really make arrest of the person that you suspect to be a wrong element right there in your community. Controversy as court orders Major Shigundo murder suspect to read lawyer submissions is what you need to know. Members of Parliament probe UNBS, as I did mention earlier on. Uganda could be among African countries with extreme temperatures report is also what you need to know. And then police probe murder of Cassandra truck driver is also another thing that you need to know. Uganda moves, that is the 27 million liters of fuel from Kisumu oil jetty is what also you have to know. It's something like a good news. And then fear as 15 suspected criminals break out of Rampara police cells is what you need to know. Where was the police guards? Where was the cell guards at that particular police station is also another question that we need to ask. We cannot have 15 suspects breaking off and then disappearing from police cells. This is quite unfortunate, and this really, puts a very big challenge to the police officers who are manning Rampara police station. They should really account, for the breakage of these cells by the 15 suspects that have been reported to have broken the cells right there for you. And so the resident district commissioner said some of the suspects were hardcore criminals. Kasasira, 4 of the suspects were facing theft charges, 3 were on robbery and 2 on defilement charges. Other had been detained on charges of domestic violence, threatening violence, malicious damage, arson, and obtaining money by false pretense is what you need to know. And so the authorities in Rampara district in western Uganda have launched a manhunt for 15 suspected criminals who broke out of Rampara Central Police custody in Buteriemnario, Kihanga Town Council. And so where were the police officers who always stay to guard the cells of different police stations that we do have? This is quite unfortunate, and we believe that the 15 suspects will be arrested. If not, then some police officers should really answer these charges. And this is what I know with the UPDF. Once you are in, you're the custodian of the cells, and it happens that the people who have been arrested and put in the cells, they break and they run away, you are the next. So they give you a period of either 2 weeks for you to look for the suspects who have escaped. If you fail to get, then the charges that these people are facing will all be put on you, and you will face it. And that's what UPDF soldiers do. I do not know in Uganda police, if suspects escape, do they only focus on looking for the suspects, or the officers who are supposed to be in charge of the cells are arrested, to replace those who have escaped? I need to be educated there, and I will be able to get more information in regards to that. 2 security guards arrested for killing homeless man in Masaka is also another sad news. Today it is about security. UPDF police is what you need to know that has been captured in the Daily Monitor. UPDF soldier arrested over Nakaseke businessman's murder. These are stories. And what is it now that the image of the UPDF seems not to be moving, it seems not to be well in this country. Case against General Muhoozi sent to High Court is also what you need to know. Right there is one of the stories that has really, featured in the Daily Monitor today. And you have to know that Buganda Road Chief Magistrate Court has referred to the High Court a case in which the Presidential Advisor Special Operations General Muhoozi Kainerugaba is accused of disobedience and common nuisance allegedly committed during his birthday party celebrations in October last year. Ronald Kayizi on Monday sent the first son's case file to High Court for criminal review at the request of the state attorney, who submitted that the private prosecutor in the matter had no locus to file an amended charges sheet after the Director of Public Prosecutions had already taken over the case. So quoting, saying that I note that the private prosecution against accused one General Muhoozi Kainerugaba by that is Mel Mabirizi was filed at the City Hall Court on November 11, 2022, and the DPP took over this case on November 14. Court documents that were filed by Mabirizi on July 13, 2023 were erroneously received by the City Hall Court, and according to him, the said document not only increased the number of accused persons from 1 to 8, but also increased the charges from 2 to 6. And this is what you need to know in regards to the city lawyer case against that is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba right there. And so Mel Mabirizi has been one of those Ugandans who would not fear to challenge any person at the court of this country. And so he's known for that, and if he leaves this world, Ugandans will remember him for challenging any person in this country, no matter what position you hold in this country. For him, he can't spare you, so long as he knows that you have not really acted rightly as it is required in the book of law of this country. And so that is what you need to know. All right, police dispersed a Molotov protest over land dispute is what you have to know, that there are nasty videos that are circulating on different social media platforms in regards to the land dispute in a Molotov district, and this is quite unfortunate, and that also speaks volume in regards to how people hold their land in trust because they know that is their future. And so locals armed with sticks took to the streets to express their grievances after learning that one Juliet Katushabe was allegedly claiming ownership of land measuring about 100 acres in Bungusel, Namasale Town Council. And police in Molata district on Monday dispersed a protest that was organized by the locals to block a stranger from accessing a disputed land in a Molata Town Council. Locals armed with sticks took to the street to express their grievances after learning that one Juliet Katushabe was allegedly claiming ownership of land measuring about 100 acres in Bungusel, Namasale Town Council. The woman is said to be the administrator of an estate believed to be for late Kawaki Nafutali, a former resident of that is Bungusel right there. And so the land under contention was allegedly occupied by Moses Okelo and other residents of Bungusel. North Yoga Region Police spokesperson, Superintendent of Police Patrick Jimmy Okema said the disputed land had remained vacant after the tribal fight between Bantu and Luo-speaking tribes of 1979 is what you need to know. That Katushabe, through a legal team of Kampala-based Yotre and company advocates, wrote to the chairperson of Bungusel to mobilize occupants of the said land for a meeting on July 17, 2023. However, this did not go well with the locals in the area. As a result, they organized an illegal protest and they waited for the lady and the lawyer. The police spokesperson said in a statement, now on receiving the information, the district police commander of Amolata and his team responded and calmed down the locals who had become violent by engaging with the local leaders. And so this is what you need to know in regards to the videos that are circulating on social media that is believed to have come from Amolata in regards to local protesting against the takeaway of 100 acres of land in Bungusel right there for you. And that is the magnitude of love for land that we have here in our country, Uganda. So I urge those who are claiming land that does not belong to them, please, you have to be a little bit very careful when you're claiming land that you also know and you're convicted that even the land, does not belong to you. But because you have money and you have other resources, you have people in power, you can really use their names to claim, land that you know very well that does not belong to you. You have to think twice, because if not, there are people who really protect their land. You might think that this land is just redundant, more especially here in West Nile. You can travel all the way from Bakwash to Arua, you'll see vacant land, square miles of land, and you might think that this land has no owners. Let me tell you, try to just, make a barrow, just hit, hole on that piece of land, and then you will see as if the spirits of the dead will be rising to face you. And what I'm trying to say here, that you will see how people will really advance towards you, telling you to back off because the land does not belong to you. And so we need to really be very careful when we're dealing with the land matters. If you're a person, you want to claim land, or you're using somebody to get for you pieces of land, you have to be very, very careful. If not, you lose it all. And who should be blamed then? Don't blame any other person, because you have not listened very, very well. Mbarara Archbishop Emeritus Bachagenda, Bachenga is dead. This is a very sad one that has come through right now, that the Mbarara Archbishop Emeritus Bachenga is dead. It is quite unfortunate. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And this is a breaking news that has just come right now. The Mbarara Archbishop Emeritus Paul Bachenga has died. And so Bachenga, who was the Archbishop of Mbarara from January 2nd, 1999 until April 25th, 2020, died Tuesday morning today. He was succeeded by Archbishop Lambert Bianomugisha, is what you need to know. And so more details in regards to his death, we shall keep you posted and updated. And so he was the Catholic Archbishop, is what you need to know right there for you. And may his soul rest in eternal peace. And in Catholics, we always say that let the perpetual light, shine upon him. And he prays for those that are still living. And that is what I can really tell you. Let's go for a break, dear viewer. When we come back, we still have more for you, and we shall be diving into what we have in the New Vision this morning. What are some of the stories making headlines? These are some of the issues that we shall be handling immediately after the break. Good morning. My name is Denis Oringi. It's KOKOLIRIKO Live. Westnile Tv.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, we'll be back, and thank you very much for joining us, dear viewer. And let me get into the New Vision and give you some of the stories that are making headlines right there. The stories are quite similar with what I was able to bring to your attention from the Daily Monitor. Also, a quick one here: Archbishop Paul Bachenga is dead. This is according to the New Vision as well. Pope Paul II elevated him to Archbishop on January 2nd, 1999. Is the story that you need to know about Bachenga. right there. And so the Archbishop Emeritus of Mbarara Archdiocese, Paul Bachenga, has passed away, age 79. Bachenga breathed his last at Rubaga Hospital on Tuesday, July 18th, where he was battling health complications. He was born on June 30th, 1944 in Bumbaire, Igara, in Busenyi district, and was ordained a priest on July 11th, 1971. Bachenga was appointed bishop in March 1989 and succeeded Bishop John Baptist Kakubi as the Bishop of Mbarara on November 23rd, 1991. Pope John Paul II elevated him to Archbishop on January 2nd, 1999. Bachenga was succeeded by Lambert Bianamugisha as the Archbishop of Mbarara in 2020. More to follow is what I need to bring to your attention. May so rest in the eternal peace right there. So the story has also been captured by the New Vision. Vanilla harvest season opens on Loki in Ibanda is what you need to know, that the farmers of vanilla, they have started harvesting, and so, but it is on a low key, is what you need to know. That Annette Biamukama, a vanilla farmer from Mishangi, Kyokotoshi in Kagongo Division, Ibanda Municipality, said buyers were paying 5,000 per kilo of vanilla right there for you. Kabuleta criticizes creation of government security firm is what you need to know, that National Economic Empowerment for Development Need Party President Joseph Kabuleta has condemned the government's move to privatize of security. Kabuleta says it is unacceptable and unfair for the government to monetize security, a function it is supposed to perform free of charge. And quoting him verbatim, saying that how can that even happen? How will this government security firm even work when the purpose of Uganda People's Defense Forces is to protect citizens? He says, according to him, UPDF will most likely neglect their official duty since they want their private security firm to make profits. Kabuleta raised the concern on Monday during the party's weekly press briefing at their headquarters in Rubaga, Kampala. Their number one work as government is to protect us and our property. But now they are going to send that work to a private company that also intends to make profits in the end. And so Kabuleta further reasons that the creation of a private security company implies a failure of the government to perform its duty successfully. Quoting him verbatim saying, if the government was to do its work properly and make sure that all Ugandans are secure, this private firm would not have any business because we would not need to pay money for private security. Background of this. You have to know that the Defense Ministry, through National Enterprise Corporation, NEC, created the NEC Security Services Limited, NSSL, to provide employment opportunities to Army veterans. The company will also offer guard services for buildings and provide VIP escorts, among other roles. Now, according to the Commander for Reserve Forces, Central Brigadier General Geoffrey Mwanguzi, the company was created to support the security industry and to provide opportunities for veterans. Quoting him verbatim saying, most of our veterans struggle after leaving the force because they cannot switch to other businesses outside security. Imagine someone serving in the force for 20 years and they join farming, they often struggle inside. And then also when they're leaving the forces, how do you give them the package? There are soldiers, the UPDF veterans who officially retired. Up to now, they have not got their pensions, and they're not receiving their pensions. So I think that should also be one of the challenges that the UPDF should look into, that there are a number of veterans that their files are updated each and every year, but they don't receive anything from the service, from what they were supposed to get as pensions. I know of numbers. And so as we talked about these, soldiers leaving the forces and joining, farming, how do they, live? The issues to do with psychosocial support need to be given to them. And the benefits that they're supposed to receive should really come timely, so that once they are home, they can really get something to do and they can use the little that they have served with the government in form of gratuity and pensions to live their life. And so that should be the point that we should start from, Commander, because there are these soldiers who have never received their pensions, but they're with us and we care about them. Time is coming, we shall see files being updated, but they don't receive. They don't get their money. And what could be the challenge? And so these are the issues that we need to also be focusing on. I think I will also be able to have interface with some of the senior army officers that we do have in the region to explain, to make sense of this. The security firm of the UPDF forces, the Uganda People's Defense Forces that we have in this country, Uganda. Is there a need for UPDF to create its, a security firm that they can hire out to make money for the forces? I think these can make a very nice conversations and discussions in regards to, running of the affairs of our country, Uganda, and the mandate and obligations of the Uganda People's Defense Forces that we have in this country, Uganda. Is there a need for the UPDF to create its own security firm? As as it has been abbreviated, that is the National Enterprises Corporation Security Services Limited, NEC. That is the National Enterprises Corporation, Security Services Limited. Is there a need to create this? I leave it to you. You can drop in your comments using our comment box right there. Is there a need for Uganda People's Defense Forces to create? That is the National Enterprises Corporation Security Services Limited. I think UPDF is already a security. Is there a need to create again, Security Services Limited from that? And so, National Enterprises Corporation Security Services Limited was, however, not birthed to compete with private security companies, but to support the country's security system. It's a little bit, a very complicated statement right there that needs somebody to sit down and internalize and get to understand right there. And so that is what we have also in the new vision, and you can as well get a copy of a new, of the new vision this morning, and you will be able to get a full report in regards to this. And so this has been criticized by Kaboleta, who was also one-time presidential candidate in the 2021 general elections right there. Samujunganda to face disciplinary action over speaking ill of Forum for Democratic Change. And remember, yesterday I was able to bring for you a story in regards to the infight in the Forum for Democratic Change. There was a team of the Forum for Democratic Change members yesterday who organized for their national executive council meeting, that is in Kampala, contrary to what the Najana Kumbi headquarters is supposed to organize. And so somebody who is also the Forum for Democratic Change spokesperson on Monday convened a consultative meeting at Zambia Sharing Hall in Kampala without the authorization of the party's top brass, is what you need to know right there. Shira Municipality Member of Parliament Ibrahim Semunyunganda is to face disciplinary action over speaking ill of the political party he belongs to. Forum for Democratic Change party officials have said the officials accused Samuju of holding a meeting not sanctioned by the top echelons of Forum for Democratic Change. And so this is not the first time that we have seen the opposition political parties in our country, Uganda, starting like this, and then at the end of the day, you see the person that the members look up to, leaving the party, joining the other party. I do not want to say that Uganda maybe is on road to join another political party or to create his own political party. I am here to watch this space, me and you, to get to understand, because if it starts like this among the opposition members, you know what it always, tend to be. Either somebody is trying to behave like that so that, he joins another political party. I do not know which political party in particular that somebody or some people are up to join. I do not know. But me and you, we are here in our country, Uganda. Let us watch this space and see. Because I know of a person of Samuel Uganda facing disciplinary committee of the Forum for Democratic Change, being the spokesperson of the Forum for Democratic Change. If this happens, and I have seen that Samuel Uganda appearing before the disciplinary committee of Forum for Democratic Change, and then that will be the start of what we call, which word should I use? Can I say start of salvation in our country, Uganda? I am waiting to see. So somebody who is also the Forum for Democratic Change spokesperson on Monday convened a consultative meeting at Zambia Sharing Hall in Kampala without the authorization, of the party's top brass. Somebody who is going to face disciplinary action for speaking ill of the party and convening a consultative meeting that was not sanctioned by the Secretary General. I have never seen a party spokesperson speaking ill of its party, former Kasese Member of Parliament Robert Centenary, said right while addressing press in Kampala, right there. Centenary, who was flanked by the party chief electoral commissioner Boniface Tuterebuka Bamwinda and Forum for Democratic Change National Executive Committee member Moses Okwera Mugisha, made remarks during a media briefing at FDC headquarters in Njanakumbi, Kampala on Monday. The party officials advised Semeju to play his role as a party spokesperson and not hold diversionary meetings, as it is, according to them, only the Secretary General mandated to call a meeting for its party members. So Semeju was also warned against leaking NEC resolutions, saying it is not a rally meeting. It is unethical to leak resolutions of NEC. It is not a rally. That is a vote of no confidence to him, Centenary said. Bamwenda said the party would not be derailed from following its roadmap for the elections of different positions. Forum for Democratic Change is the only party in the country which elected 3 presidents since it was formed, and it will maintain its democratic credentials, Bamwenda said right there, Feishi. And so that is what you need to know in regards to what we have in Forum for Democratic Change. And this could be, the start of internal bickering that will really weaken the Forum for Democratic Change party. And if the top party leadership is in this kind of fracas with the leaders having the infight, I am trying to imagine the kind of Forum for Democratic Change that we are going to have in 2025 for 2025-2026 election that we are looking forward to having. That is 2 years to come now. And so I think my brothers and sisters in national resistance movement seem to be smiling. And if they have possibilities of igniting fire, they would be adding more dry wood and also dry grass, in this particular fire that has been created already at the Njanakumbi base, headquarters. That is Forum for Democratic Change party headquarters right there. And I know there are some players in national resistance movement that are really celebrating and looking for ways of how they can really weaken Forum for Democratic Change party. And so their happiness is that if Semeju Nganda, Honorable Semeju Nganda, who is a member of parliament for Shira municipality, and also at the same time the party spokesperson, begins to hold diversionary, views and opinions to that of the top Forum for Democratic Party brass, then it speaks for them. That means that there is something shaky that is going on, and I am here to follow the events and trends, and we shall keep you posted in regards to this right there for you. 15 suspects dig their way out of Rampara police custody is also another information that New Vision has also captured. Remember, I also did mention for you this particular story from the Daily Monitor, and so the New Vision has also not failed to capture this particular story. General Kaihura's cases pending as retirement nears is also another big story that has been captured in the New Vision for today. That verification of generals who are slated to retire from the army has commenced, with the General Kale Kaihura still having pending cases at the General Court Martial in the city suburbs of Makinde. Kaihura and other UPDF generals destined for retirement come August 31st, 2023, underwent documentation process at the UPDF Joint Headquarters and Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Moya, in Kampala on Monday. And so New Vision has established that the 4-star general's case file has not yet been disclosed. However, source who preferred anonymity said retirement might be allowed or stayed depending on what will happen before August 31st, 2023, the date set for retirement. Kaihura, who was approved for retirement alongside 109 other senior officers from the rank of major to colonel, faces 2 counts of failure to protect war material and aiding and abetting the kidnapping, repatriating Rwandan exiles and refugees and Ugandan citizens to Rwanda between 2012 and 2016. However, Kaihura can only be retired from the army when his charges have been, withdrawn by the prosecution team at the army court. The legal experts have explained that Kaihura's case file can be closed anytime because it is not a tedious process. In an exclusive interview with New Vision on Monday yesterday, defense spokesperson Brigadier General Felix Kulaije said Kaihura's retirement and legal process is ongoing concurrently. He said Kaihura is #1 on the list of retiring officers, is what you need to know. About documentation, you have to know that the Army spokesperson said the registration and documentation of the generals are ongoing at Mbuya, a Kampala suburb, to ensure that officers who will appear on the final day are the right persons. Kulaije also said the documentation helps the institution to know the period the army officers have served so that it is computed with the salaries to determine their retirement packages. The officers will be retired as heroes by the Uganda People's Defense Forces for serving their country diligently, he said. About the pardon here, in the run-up to the 2021 general election, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, while on a tour to the Kisoro district, met a team of the National Resistance Movement leaders who asked him to pardon Kaihura. Last year, Special President Advisor of Special Operations and First Son General Muhoozi Kainerugaba described Kaihura as a special cadre and asked President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to forgive and rehabilitate him if he made mistakes. Retiring officers, among those set to retire is Lieutenant General James Nakibos Lakara, Major General Samuel Waswa Mutasira, Major General James Arosha, and Major General David K. Wakalo. The list also has Austin Kasortwoki, Kamanyire, Stephen Oluka, Frank Atende Kiabade, and then Emmanuel Wiagana, Wilson Mwambuzi, and Ham Atwoki Kaija, who will retire at the rank of Brigadier Generals, is what you need to know right there for you. And so for those who have been asking questions about the whereabouts of the former Inspector General of Police, General Kale Kaihura, and this is the latest development that is coming through right there. Commonwealth Games in limbo as Australia pulls out as 2026 host is also another thing that you need to know, that the event featuring the 20 sports and 26 disciplines was due to be held across 5 regions held in Australia's state of Victoria, is what you need to know. And so the Commonwealth Games is in limbo, is what you need to know right there for the sport lovers who have been interested in following up this particular game. And allow me also to bring to your attention some of the stories that we have in the world of sports right this morning for you that you need to understand. People have taken time without understanding what is happening in the world of sports. You have to know that Westnile Television has 1 hour for you to get to understand each and everything that is happening in the world of sports. But the latest one that I have right here is that Messi, hailed as America's #10 as he greets rapturous Miami fans right there for you. And so what you need to know here is that it rained on his parade, but Lionel Messi greeted his new Inter Miami fans and was hailed by the club's owner as America's #10 at a damned but celebratory unveiling event on Sunday. Is what you need to know, that Miami's 20,000 capacity stadium was close to full despite a huge thunderstorm just before the event to celebrate the arrival of the Argentine World Cup winner was due to begin. A massive tropical downpour forced organizers to delay the start of the unveil as the fans took over or waited out the rain in their cars. The event started around 2 hours later than originally scheduled, with wet but delighted fans chanting Messi's name as the lights dimmed on the venue. The club's co-owner David Beckham opened the ceremony saying Messi's arrival was a dream come true. Leo, we are so proud that you have chosen our club for the next stage in your career, said the former Manchester United player, whose move to MLS Los Angeles Galaxy in 2007 was the league's previous biggest arrival right there. Welcome to our family, Leo Beckham added in Spanish, to roars from the crowd. Miami's majority owner George Mas and then whipped the crowd up with his own, bilingual speech. Tonight is a gift and celebration to the city that opened its arm to my family, said the Cuban-American businessman. And that tonight we are doing this in the rain. This is holy water, he added. And this is our moment to change the football landscape in this country, he added before introducing Messi as your new #10, America's #10. Messi, who arrived in Miami on Tuesday with his family and caused a viral sensation after being photographed shopping with them in a local supermarket, thanked the supporters. And quoting him saying, Thank you very much to all the people for supporting me and giving me this love. I am very happy to be here in Miami. He said, I really want to start training to complete. I really want to start training to compete. I have the same desire that I always had to compete, want to win, to help the club continue to grow. I am very happy to have chosen to come to play in this city with my family to choose this project. And I have no doubt that we are going to enjoy it a lot. We are going to have a good time and very good things are going to happen, he said right there. So Inter Miami, the bottom club in Major League Soccer, confirmed on Saturday that the 7 times Ballon d'Or winner had signed a deal that will keep him with the club until 2025. And that's what you need to know, that Messi will no longer play for the Spanish club right there. And so he is now in America. And so we wish him well right there. 2 minutes to the top of 9 a.m. right here on Westnile Television. Dear viewer, thank you very much for being with us up to this particular time. Thank you for always tuning to Westnile Television using the different platforms that we do have. Zuko Satellite Channel 0073 and StarTimes Satellite Channel 477. Not forgetting those who are always following us live from the YouTube of Westnile Television and also the Facebook of the television. Keep watching Westnile Television. Other programs will be coming your way, and do not forget that I will be coming back tomorrow to give you more about what is happening in this particular world. Kudos to my producer, that is producer Aldo Manano, and not forgetting my camera person is on the pro, Adima Manasi, for always tuning the camera rightly to bring the bright pictures on your screen, and also to making me look the way I am. So that is me. I have not changed, and I will continue to remain Dennis Oringi in this kind of form. Have the best of your morning. May the good Lord bless you. Good morning.